This is your weekly COVID-19 briefing for Friday, May 29th. As the Pocono region transitions from the red to yellow phase of reopening, find out what's in store for childcare, public schools, and higher education.
Plus, we learn what this new step means for small towns in the Poconos and how you can help struggling nonprofits during a single-day fundraising event.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us live, online, and on air for this COVID-19 weekly briefing. I'm Chris Barrett for the COVID-19 briefing team. This program is now in its 8th week. We hope you'll find our information useful and share it via social media feeds if you are watching online or on YouTube. First, we want to thank Blue Ridge Cable, TV 13, and East Stroudsburg University for partnering with the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau to bring you this program. Remember, you can get up-to-date information at our website, poconomountains.com/COVID-19. As we begin this morning, we'd like to take a look first at our numbers. We are seeing before you right now, the red line is the 10-county NEPA region. The blue line is the Pocono County region, that being the 4 counties of Carbon, Monroe, Wayne, and Pike. The green line is the 50-case mark. So you can see now we're looking very good. Also, too, we have broken that out so you can see the cases per each county and the corresponding colors. And it also goes out to 522. Our next slide shows new COVID-19 cases in 14 days per 100,000 people. You can see the metrics really coming down nicely below the green line, really in June. And finally, new COVID-19 cases in the last 14 days per 100,000 people. Again, the corresponding colors, the green line at 50, and the corresponding numbers. Again, this information is available at poconomountains.com/COVID-19. Now we're going to shift to an important topic that's on a lot of parents and students' minds, education. For now, learning is shifted from the classroom to a cyber setting. But what will happen come the fall of next year? Let's check in with local educators from all levels of learning to see what ideas they have in mind.
The front doors are closed. But inside the Pocono Family YMCA, staff is working hard.
We have been doing some extensive cleaning.
With Monroe County entering the yellow phase and parents returning to work, the Y will open a summer care program on June 8th for kindergarten through 6th graders.
It'll be looking different. Usually this is our summer camp time, but we are going to be limiting group sizes, limiting transitions, trying to keep everyone in the same area, same counselors, same groups together.
The YMCA's programs and childcare may look different moving forward, but with new information constantly developing, decision-making has been tough.
We've been just taking it step by step, following the guidelines as they come out, and trying to make the best decisions for all of those involved.
The Stroudsburg Area School District Superintendent agrees. The district is exploring different options for the fall 2020-2021 school year.
I'm working on a survey now for our district because we want to talk to parents and find out, basically, whatever, depending on what hand we're dealt, are you looking to send your child back to school? And if you are, great, we will have a plan for that. What if you're not? What are the options?
One alternative, Stroudsburg runs its own cyber academy, but that comes with some challenges.
I think, most people, when I say most, 98% want to be back in school and do things the way we were doing it prior to the closure.
The district is evaluating different models, but no matter what, for traditional learning, crowded classrooms, buses, hallways, and cafeterias are top concerns.
We're still working out some details on some of the blended type of plans that for the fall, but more to come.
With guidance changing almost daily, the Wallen-Pawpack Area School District is facing the same difficult decisions.
So obviously, the most ideal situation would be to have everyone back here as normal. The way school was designed to be and the way we're structured to be most efficient and effective. The other extreme would be total online.
The district is also looking into staggering students' schedules.
We'll have to look at an A-B model structure where some kids are here in one day, Other kids are here a different day.
Then there are financial factors at play. School districts rely on state funding, and Pennsylvania is seeing a shortfall in revenues.
And of course, we have a great reliance on them for our funding.
In this time of unknowns, one thing is certain. Education on all levels must adjust to this new normal. For Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
We're going to continue the discussion about education with a look at two college-level institutions right here. We're joined now in studio by Marcia Welsh, President of East Stroudsburg University, and Matt Connell, Dean of Northampton Community College's Monroe campus. I want to welcome you both. It's so great to have you here. These are two great pillars of our community, great leaders, and you know they've gone through a lot over the last 2 months, as we all have. But Matt and Marcia, Matt, first I want to turn to you and then to Marcia. What steps did your institution take or are taking to prepare for classes this fall?
Well, Chris, our approach has been plan for the worst and hope for the best, and so we've created a number of different learning opportunities that mix online, on ground, or a combination of both. We're still not sure which way we're going to go yet because we haven't gotten the guidance that we need, but that's the approach that we've been taking.
So Marcia, and you both, how hard has this been for the faculty, the students, to make this transition to cyber learning?
I think it's been, I think first of all I want to compliment the faculty that really took this to heart and went online immediately. That said, it wasn't as quality in some cases as I know we would all like, and we've been working over the past few weeks and months to continue to improve our online learning capability. But I think the reality is not all of our students, regardless of what institution they attended, were fully ready for this and had the either the Wi-Fi or the technology that they needed to actually take online classes. And so for me, the biggest concern were those students who we may have missed in this entire going online process.
Well, it was interesting, when we were talking beforehand, you had said you had students that didn't have computers.
Right.
And ESU took the additional step to make sure that they got them.
Correct, and I think a lot of universities across the country, we had a number of alumni donate computers. They donated their laptops to the university, and then we reloaded them for the students. We left the library open and had, 8 to 14 students a day come in and use technology there, but we still know we missed their gaps. Students don't have access to the technology they need to actually do online learning.
I think most universities are such a community within itself. How was it tough to provide some of the other services, not only the learning, but some of the counseling, some of the things how hard was that?
We actually shifted pretty quickly. We'd been pushing to do more online counseling, and this made it easy because there weren't other options. And so our mental health counseling went quickly online, advising went online. Amazingly, tutoring went online. We hired 60, 70 students who tutored online, which is kind of amazing. Wow. And worked with our tutoring center, and even our writing studio went online. So students had a lot of online academic and health care opportunities online.
That's great. Man, I know you at Northampton concentrate a lot on giving support to students. How did you guys handle that as it started to transition?
One of the things we did, Chris, when we first started out was we called all of our students just to check in with them. Every single one of them. We set up a calling campaign to check in with them to see how they were doing in the first couple of weeks and to find out if there was anything we could do to help them. We then directed them to websites or to personnel at the college that could give them one-on-one assistance. The other thing that we did, and I know that ESU did the same thing, was we asked the faculty and staff and our friends in the community to support the students in their needs, basic needs, whether it's food, clothing, and shelter, or technology. So we were fortunate enough to raise almost $200,000 in the past month and a half to 2 months.
That's great, wow. And
we've distributed a good amount of that back to the students. And it helps them as well as helps them those students who are getting the stimulus money that's coming from the CARES package that was passed in Congress.
And I didn't really want to kind of start to talk about the fall until I really recognized a lot of things that you guys did so quickly to support students, get them through the semester. And you know, I know not having the graduations was probably tough on a lot of people, but it must have just been tough just to get through to the end and in the ways that you did. So I think you guys are really to be commended. But as we look to the fall, if you're a recent high school graduate, what would you, Matt, and then I'll turn to you, Marcia, what would you recommend that a potential high school student do? And if you were their family, what would you recommend for them?
I think I would recommend that they take a look at what the local options are, given the unpredictability of this COVID-19 virus. And if they were to go away to college, and the possibility that halfway through the semester they would have to return home. So I think that's one thing I would recommend. I know we're both, ESU and Northampton are both inexpensive options when it comes to that kind of experience. And the other thing I would encourage high school seniors to think about is don't stop. Keep going, because this will pass and they still have to be prepared to enter the world of work and to take their place in the community. So it's important that they keep the momentum going.
How about you, Marcia?
I agree with Matt. I think that we hear a lot of survey results where students are saying, I want a gap year, or if you go fully online, I'm not going to attend. And I think that's a huge mistake. I think students need, if you've started your college education, or even if you haven't, start your college education. You're going to need that degree, whether we have COVID 4 years from now or not. So to stay in college, continue with your degree program is critical. A gap year is usually an educational experience. It's not just working for fast food or delivering groceries. So don't take a gap year. Do not think that you're just going to sit at home and be angry because a course might be online, but stay with it, continue your education. It really will matter for you going into the future. So stay on track.
Yeah, I think we hear that. I've heard gap year quite a bit. And it seems like it's gaining some traction. How about you, Matt? Do you have concerns, those same concerns?
Yeah, I think I understand the concept of a gap year, and in some ways it may be beneficial, but I think what we're learning now is that this pandemic has forced us to think about the world of work differently and how we will engage with our employers. So mastering the online possibilities that are out there prepares you to master working from home a lot easier. And I also think that the students, this is an opportunity for them to learn resilience if they don't have it, and persistence and patience, because the next disaster, whatever you want to call it, that comes our way, our students will be that much more prepared to adapt to the changing world that has occurred while we've been dealing with this thing.
Those are great points. I know that in our business, it seems like everybody pivoted as quickly as they could to online, and traditionally they weren't people that you think would. So I mean, there has been some positives out of this.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge, making sure that you encourage students to look for the positives, to look for the learning opportunities, and to look for what's important for their future. And not only for their future, but for the future of the community where they will reside, and their families and loved ones.
What you two are, and your institutions are great mentors for all of us as far as caring about the community. And now I think, Marcia, we want to kind of talk a little bit about the fall too here at ESU and kind of down to our own campuses. What do you see taking place in the fall here? What changes? I mean, what have you guys kind of thought would be the changes now coming up for the fall?
I think it's important to note that both the CDC guidelines and the Commonwealth Department of Education guidelines are changing and evolving on a daily basis, and so what we say now may not be true next week.
True.
But we do plan to be open. It won't look like it did in fall of 19. We will be putting the large lecture classes online because we don't want to try to get 200 students in a classroom. Smaller classes will be meeting face-to-face as much as we can allow. And obviously this could change tomorrow, but for now that's our plan. We do plan to video as much as we can so that students who can't make it to class won't miss the class. A lot of people are concerned about students coming back, living in a residence hall, but their residence hall environment will be their family unit. And I think more important than ever, and this applies to all of Pennsylvania, Yeah, the trifecta still matters. You still need to wear a mask. You still need to wash your hands until your cuticles are leather. I think that's where we are now. And you need to socially distance. And we will be doing that on our campus. And we'll be expecting our students, faculty, and staff to follow a code of conduct that they will behave in a socially acceptable manner so that we can all stay on campus and continue the educational process. If a student wants to party, they want to go off and do their own thing, they might end up being sent home. And so I think that we will be expecting our students to watch out for the health and welfare of our students, faculty, staff, and our community. They need to show that they understand what the challenges are, and if they want an education, they need to follow the rules.
How about Monroe campus, Northampton? Matt, because I know you don't have dining halls, but you have a lot of students there.
Sure,
Or you do have dining halls, not residents, sorry.
We don't have residence halls yet. That may be down the road, who knows. We are, first of all, want to make sure that we're taking the appropriate precautions to protect our students, our faculty, and our staff, and visitors and guests who do come on campus. So as Marcia talked about, social distancing, face masks, hand washing, all the CDC guidelines. So we're taking the same approaches. We are exploring smaller class sizes. Instead of 25 in a class, we might have 12. We're in the process now of determining how we can arrange classroom seating so that students and the faculty member teaching the students have that social distance in place. We're also, again, looking at what can we move to online instruction that will augment or even do the instructional part of it. So some of the hands-on kinds of classes, science labs, things like that, we might do the lecture online, but we'll do the lab on ground, but with CDC guidelines in place so that students and, again, the faculty are in a safe environment.
One of the things that we were asked to ask you guys a lot of is the standard classroom experience is so important, and you did what you could. You had to go online and you had to do that. What are your feelings about that personal feeling of the connection with the professor and how important is that in education?
I think it's critical, especially for our students. And we get a lot of students who are first generation. Their families do not have the experience of what the student is getting in the classroom. Many are lower socioeconomically placed and need that faculty member or that staff member, and sometimes it is a staff member, to pat them on the back and to have that conversation with them. I think a lot of online learning is good, but the face-to-face is still critical for our students to really have that encouragement and that support. That happens in the classroom and on campus, not necessarily in the classroom. Sometimes it's bumping into a faculty member in the hall or being able to stop by a faculty member's office, and how we do that will probably change. You drop by a faculty member's office, they may have a sneeze screen in front of them, but they'll still be able to talk to you and give you the encouragement you need.
I think I was first generation too in the state system, and at another university, but I mean it would,
we'll forgive
not
you.
that there are any others, but I mean they were like my family. Yeah. I mean, I felt like they really cared about who I was as a person, and that part of the experience is so important. And having taught on your faculty as an adjunct, I was really fortunate to have that experience. I think in Northampton, it's the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. The care for the student, and their socioeconomic piece, right, I think is really critical, and that's one thing I really learned, teaching there, and it was really refreshing to see. So I think that piece is missing in this, and kind of as our last question to ask to the both of you, if you have to pivot back to this again, how do you feel? God forbid if it happens in the fall, how do you feel about that?
Well, we're preparing for that. Again, as I said earlier, plan for the worst, hope for the best. So we're preparing for that, but we're also finding ways to make it a more robust experience for our students when we do, if and when we do have to go in that direction, by creating more opportunities for that personal touch, that one-on-one kind of connection that helps students. And the research is unlimited in terms of how that helps students learn and be successful. So we're finding ways to make that in a virtual setting.
I know we could talk a lot more, but time is of the essence here, which I hate. But one thing I do want to say is that these two individuals have done so much for our community. We owe them a great deal of thanks for everything they've done. So again, we appreciate having you guys here and everything you've done over the last few years, especially the last few months. And again, we thank you both for being here and joining us this morning and offering that important insight, because I think for families it's really important too. Now that all 4 of our counties of the Pocono Mountains are in the yellow phase, hundreds of businesses and organizations will be upholding a promise they signed in the recent weeks, the Pocono Promise. The Pocono Promise is our pledge as a region and by each individual business to abide by the public health guidelines established by the CDC as well as the PA Department of Health. Owners or managers of any business throughout our region can go to PoconoMountains.com/Pocono Promise and adopt these guidelines and protocols. This is a free service. The guidelines and promise apply to everything from restaurants and hotels to professional offices and barbershops. The Pocono Promise is designed to help the public and team members of each business to know that the right steps are being taken to keep them safe and healthy. Visit PoconoMountains.com/Pocono Promise for all the details and sign up online. For parts of the Poconos, this is the first return to business in 2 months. Jim Hamill with the Pocono Television Network visited several of our downtown businesses as they move into yellow and reopen for their communities.
From the word go, businesses in Carbon and Wayne counties began to reopen within the last week. And now, Pike and Monroe counties are joining the governor's yellow phase of reopening.
I would say getting to that phase, it was like nothing, and then we're here.
For small shops in downtown Jim Thorpe, this is a step in the right direction.
Like, we're walk-in traffic. Not a lot of people are looking to buy beef jerky online. So our customers are here in Jim Thorpe walking around. So this is really, feels like the first day we opened again.
These owners have cleaned and prepared for customers, implemented ways to make sanitizing the stores easy, and are back open again.
I know that our small businesses are resilient, and they've really figured out a way up until this day to really keep going.
It's exciting for people. Maybe they've been here in the candy store every week since we opened, but to not be able to come in for a few months and now be able to come in, it's that excitement all over again. So I know people are very excited to get out and about and do some shopping and visit some local stores.
In Wayne County, similar story for Main Street businesses in Honesdale and Hawley. The doors are open once again, and business leaders feel the momentum after 2 months of sacrifice.
They wanted to get back, wanted to get started, but wanted to do it the right way to make sure that everyone stayed healthy and none of the employees that they have in their businesses and small nonprofits got sick.
The businesses not only want to, feel safe themselves, but they want to make their customers feel safe. They want everyone to know that it's safe to come back to the Poconos and to shop and be part of the tourism around here.
Stroudsburg, along with the rest of Monroe County, is now yellow and looking forward to green, while the shutdown has been devastating for many. Mayor Tara Probst is confident this community will pull through safely.
We're really excited about it. People are ready to open up safely and do all the things they need to do to make sure that we keep this curve down, the numbers down, so that we can go green.
It's a big milestone in the recovery efforts in Milford, Pike County as well.
And we are ready. Milford is ready.
The beautiful downtown is prepared to handle the next stage of reopening through collaboration with state, county, and local officials.
We want Milford to be held to a higher standard. We want the public to know you come to Milford, you're going to a community that shares a commitment to the highest practices in terms of sanitation and distancing and hand washing, and know that people can come here and feel safe.
Safe is one thing the Poconos is known for over the years, and especially now as these communities begin to have life breathed back into them just in time for the summer season. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
You're watching the COVID-19 weekly briefing from the campus of East Stroudsburg University, brought to you by the Pocono Television Network and Blue Ridge Cable TV 13. We want to thank Kim Bell, the general manager of TV 13, and our director, Zach Booth, and all of our floor team who've been with us for all 9 weeks. An additional thanks to Kurt Burton from ESU. You can also watch this live streaming on YouTube and afterward on PoconoMountains.com/COVID-19. Before we go, we want to let you know about a way to help struggling nonprofits. 1 week from now on June 5th, NEPA Gives is your chance to donate to organizations that need a helping hand during this crisis. Many nonprofits rely on events that have been canceled for their funding. And NEPA Gives is a way to help these nonprofits continue their good work. Remember, if you talk with a frontline hero, give him or her your thanks. We hope to be back next week with the information and our Pocono Proud stories that you can use. Until then, I'm Chris Barrett. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Ryan Jennings from the Wayne County Community Foundation, and I'm here to tell you about NEPA Gives Day on June 5th of 2020. We're excited to be able to offer a one-day giving day online at nepagives.org, and you can support Wayne County nonprofits as well as Pike County nonprofits. Nonprofits are experiencing a really big struggle, just like we all are, small businesses, large businesses across the country, but nonprofits are running just like those businesses, and they're trying to serve their communities. And right now they're missing out on fundraisers, they're missing out on earned revenue of events and programs that they offer to our community because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Nonprofits, they strategize and think all year round about how to fundraise for their organizations. Many of them do email campaigns and sending out letters, but a lot of nonprofits, their big fundraiser of the year is a gala or a run or all of these different activities, parties that we can't do right now. So nonprofits really need to pivot and strategize in a different way, and NEPA Gives Day on June 5th of this year is a great way to start with that. No gift is too small, no gift is definitely not too big. Giving is super easy. You just go to nepagives.org and you can do that from your phone, from your computer, and you can make a donation to multiple nonprofits if you'd like, or just one with your credit card. Please go on nepagives.org to support your favorite nonprofit. There are nonprofits across northeastern Pennsylvania that serve our community, and we want to make sure they're here after the COVID-19 pandemic is over.
Help is just a click away. Visit PoconoMountains.com/COVID-19. That's PoconoMountains.com/COVID-19.